See my life.
Are you enjoying my curly bounce? I am totally loving and feeling the vibe. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Vlogmas. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys how I make my lace closure curly wig from scratch, and I am going to make this tutorial very beginner friendly so that each and every one of us here can make our own wig this Christmas. We are saving cost. If you're interested, get your needles and thread and let's get started.
Did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water?
So this is the mannequin I'm going to be using for today's wig. You can use this mannequin if you have some, or any other mannequin you have available. Or if you are not going to get a mannequin, you can buy something like this or whatever you get which is going to fit your head size. Let's begin. So I'm going to quickly take you through what I'm going to be using. I have here my black thread, so just get yourself a black thread, either this big size, the normal size. Just get black thread and get yourself some needles. I was trying to get the curved type of needles, but I couldn't get that, so this will do also, and your scissors. I'm also going to be using this type of wig cap. You can use any other type of wig cap you want to use. And I'm going to be using this curly hair that I got from Ali Rain. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, but I got my hair from Ali Rain. My closure is 16 inches and my hair bundles are 16 and 14 inches. These hair bundles were quite expensive, and to be honest, I think it's worth the cost because the quality of this hair is so good. It is so good, so I kind of think it is just worth the cost. So you can just buy any human hair you want to use for this Christmas or whatever occasion it is you want to fix your wig for. Or if it's just for a normal day, you can just get any normal human hair, or you can even use synthetic hair. We'll begin by threading our needle, and usually I like to first double up my thread before passing it through the eye of the needle. In that case, after I have threaded my needle, I have about 4 strands of thread. That is going to make my sewing firmer, so you can just do it like that and then tie a knot at the end to secure your sewing.
Ona bagobedia, wata wanimo. Ona bagobedia, ay, usobimo. Ona bagobedia, akomi akabemo. Wata wanimo. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
So after wearing our cap for our mannequin, I am just going to go ahead and then first sew on my closure. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use a pin on all 4 sides of the closure to make sure it is secure and tight before I start sewing. There's a special type of pin used for this purpose, but I looked around and I couldn't get some, so I'm just going to be using normal needles for this purpose. But if you can get that type of pin, if you get what I'm describing, please use that. It's easier that way, but I'll be using this anyway. It works for me. So after securing it down tightly, I'm just going to hold it up with a hair clip and then start sewing. Make sure you sew it down pretty tight, not pretty tight, very tight. Sew it down firmly so that your closure is not lifting from the cap, because we are going to be cutting that part of the wig after we are done with everything. So if your closure is lifting, your wig is going to end up looking not natural at all. It's going to look a mess. So make sure your closure is down very tight before you sew it, and sew it firmly like I have done. So after sewing our closure all round and firm, I'm just going to remove my hair wefts from the bundle. I'm first sewing the 14 inches because I don't want my wig to be too long. So if I start with the 16 inches, it's going to end up long. I want this wig pretty short. So I'm first going to sew the 14 inches one.
Oh, you're looking through my eyes, you gonna say I know they lie. This thing I feel for you, if you know me, I go die. Oh, you're looking
So what you're going to do next is you're going to secure your hair wefts on both sides. Secure it on the left, secure it on the right with your needle, then just sew over it like so. Okay, so after sewing over it, you're just going to bend it on top of it and sew over it again, and keep bending it like that. You don't need to cut it off before sewing. So I have sewn to this point, and I'm going to show you how I just sew it.
Ona bagobedia, wata wanimo. Ona bagobedia, ay, usobi mo. Ona bagobedia, akomi agabemo. Wata wanimo.
So that is where my 14 inches weft ended. I'm now going to continue with my 16 inches. If you'd look closely, you'd notice that I did not sew the wefts directly over each other. Okay, so while sewing it, you're going to leave about 1 centimeter space between each weft. You don't need to measure it, you're just going to eyeball it. Just leave a little space between each line of weft as you sew. But with this 16 inches, as I'm about to sew the top part of it, especially when it gets to the side, because it's a side part, I'm going to be sewing it directly on top of each other, so that the hair can be a lot bouncier and a lot fuller on one side. Okay, so that it can really have that side part look. So if you are going to sew your wig in a side part, do it this way and it's going to turn out very beautiful. When you get to the side part, sew each weft directly over each other, so that the hair on the side is a lot more and it is fuller, and it's going to be very, very bouncy and pretty.
Oh, you're looking through my eyes, you gonna say I know they lie. This thing I feel for you, if you know me, I go die. Oh, you're looking through my eyes, you gonna say I know they lie. This thing I feel for you, if you know me, I go die. I beg you today, my baby, tomorrow no day. I beg you marry me, yo. I go carry you, go today. Baby, tomorrow no day. I beg you marry me, yo. I go carry you, go, baby.
So we are finally done with our sewing, and I'm just going to open my closure and then open the side part. Okay, so my closure has 3 patterns. I'm going to just define the side part. If you want your pattern to be very well defined, or let me say very visible, then you might need to use a tweezer to remove some of the hair strands. Okay, but I didn't want my closure to be too defined, so I just went ahead to use my tail comb to just define the closure, the pattern. Okay, so after that, I'm going to remove my wig from the mannequin head and cut the part of the wig cap directly under the closure, okay, so that our closure can be well seen. If you leave that part of the wig cap under it, it's just going to be black there. It's not going to look natural, like the natural feel that we want. So after cutting it off, I'm going to take my powder to cream foundation. So this is my Maybelline powder to cream foundation I'm going to be using for the closure. This is going to make it look more natural on my head, as this foundation is my skin color. So putting this on the closure is going to make it have a more natural feel when I wear the cap. Mr. Damola. So use a clip to secure the hair to the back to prevent it from coming to the front of the mannequin, and just cut off that extra piece of net from the closure so that it can fit your face perfectly.
Yeah. I said I wanna be your baby's papa. Yeah. They say I'm just a singer man, nothing but a bloody cinnamon. Looking for my scapegoat, number one. Them say
so I'm going to be combing my curls out because I want this wig to have a very full look. You can choose to keep your curls as it is without combing it, but the look I'm going to go for this particular wig is a very full look. Okay, so I'm combing it out with a wide tooth comb, and after this process, my side part curly lace closure wig is done, and I'm totally enjoying how I look. I am totally loving the hair. It's so bouncy, it's so full. I achieved the look I was going for. Please do try this out this Christmas. Make sure you save some money by making your own wig cap. It is very easy. This is not a difficult process at all, so make sure you try it out. Just get your hair bundles, take your time and sew your own wig this holidays. Thank you so much for watching. If you have watched up to this point, that means you are very determined to learn how to do this on your own. So please don't disappoint me by not trying it out. Make sure you do try this out for yourself or for your family and friends. They are going to thank you so much for it, especially during this festive season. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you've not yet subscribed, and share this video to all your friends and associates. Bye.
Open them, yeah. All this bad